Quick question. What makes something luxury? Is it the quality, the craftsmanship, the history, or is it just because someone told you it was? Meet Bernard Arnault. You probably don't know his name, but you definitely know his brands. Dior, Louis Vuitton, Tiffany, Fendi, Givenchy, Marc Jacobs, Bulgari, Tag Heuer, Dom Perignon, Sephora, 75 brands, all owned by one man, $230 billion net worth. He's the richest person in Europe, second richest on earth. And here's the thing, he doesn't just sell luxury, he decides what luxury even means. Today we're breaking down the most powerful monopoly you've never heard of. And why that $2,000 handbag? It costs $200 to make. LvmH, Moët Hennessy Louis Vuitton. If you've never heard of them, that's intentional. They prefer it that way. LvmH is a holding company, which is corporate speak for, we own everything, but you don't need to know that. They control 75 luxury brands across 5 sectors. Fashion leather goods. That's your Louis Vuitton bags, your Dior dresses, wine spirits, Moët champagne, Hennessy cognac, Dom Perignon, perfumes cosmetics, Givenchy, Benefit, Sephora, watches jewelry, Tag Heuer, Bulgari, Tiffany Co., and selective retailing, which means they also own the stores that sell you all this stuff. One company, 5 industries, global domination. They made $86 billion last year, more than Nike and Adidas combined. And the man who built this empire, Bernard Arnault. He's 75 years old, started with nothing, now owns everything you think is expensive. Here's what's fascinating. Most people can't name him, but they'll spend 3 months' rent on a bag with his logo on it. That's power, real power, not fame. How he built the empire. So how does one guy end up owning luxury itself? It starts in 1984. Arnault is a young French businessman. He's in construction, bored, rich, but not rich. Then he hears Christian Dior is struggling, bankrupt actually. Most people see a failing fashion house. Arnault sees opportunity. He buys Dior for $15 million, a bargain, and then he does something brilliant. He doesn't just fix Dior, he turns it into a cash machine, fires half the staff, cuts costs, raises prices. And here's the genius move. He makes Dior exclusive again, not by improving quality, by limiting supply. You can't just walk into a store and buy Dior. You have to want it, crave it, wait for it. He understood something most companies don't. Luxury isn't about the product, it's about desire. With Dior profitable, Arnault goes hunting. 1987, buys LvmH, Louis Vuitton plus Moët Hennessy. 1996, acquires Celine. 1997, takes over Marc Jacobs. 2001, Fendi, Donna Karan, Givenchy. 2011, Bulgari for $5 billion. 2021, Tiffany Co. for $16 billion. One by one, he swallows every luxury brand that matters. And the ones that refuse to sell? He waits. Until they struggle. Until they're desperate. Then he swoops in, offers a deal they can't refuse. It's not hostile. It's patient. Like a python. Slow, methodical, inevitable. The desire-making machine. Let's talk about what you're actually buying. That $2,500 Louis Vuitton handbag. It costs about $200 to $400 to make. Materials, labor, everything. So where does the other $2,100 go? Marketing, advertising, store design, exclusivity. But mostly, perception. LvmH doesn't sell bags. They sell the idea of luxury. Strategy number 1, artificial scarcity. Ever notice luxury stores never have full stock? That's strategy. Limited editions, waiting lists, sold out signs. If everyone can have it, it's not luxury. Strategy number 2, aspirational pricing. A $2,000 bag feels valuable because it's $2,000. If it was $200, you'd think it's fake. Prices go up 8% every year. Not because materials cost more, because higher price equals more desire. You want it more because it's expensive. That's not rational. That's genius. Strategy number 3, celebrity endorsement. Zendaya at the Met Gala. Dior. Beyoncé in Paris. Tiffany diamonds. These aren't accidents. They're investments. You see them looking flawless. You think, maybe if I buy this, you won't look like them, but you'll buy it anyway. Here's where it gets interesting. LvmH doesn't just compete in the luxury market. They are the luxury market. They control roughly 30% of the entire global luxury industry. No other company even comes close, which means Arnault doesn't just respond to trends. He creates them. When LvmH decides oversized bags are in, every other brand follows. When they say monogram prints are back, the industry copies. When they price Dior bags at $5,000, competitors raise their prices too. He's not playing the game, he's writing the rules. And here's the uncomfortable truth. 40% of LvMH's sales come from China. Chinese consumers spend $34 billion a year on LvMH brands, which means Arnault, this French billionaire, is deeply dependent on the Chinese market. Sound familiar? Like Apple and China? Same problem. If China's economy stumbles, LvMH's stock crashes. If Xi Jinping decides to crack down on luxury spending, Arnault loses billions overnight. It's already happened. In 2023, China launched an anti-extravagance campaign. Luxury sales dropped 15% in 3 months. Arnault flew to Beijing, met with officials, made nice. Because when you depend on one market for 40% of your revenue, you don't have a choice. The man who controls luxury? He's controlled by China. Cracks in the empire. So is LvMH unstoppable? Not quite. The empire has cracks, small ones, but growing. Problem number 1. The next generation doesn't care. Millennials and Gen Z are buying less luxury. They care more about sustainability, ethics, authenticity. And LvMH? They're the opposite of authentic. Luxury purchases by young consumers dropped 25% in the last 5 years. Turns out, when you can't afford rent, a $3,000 bag feels stupid. Problem number 2, the resale market. Platforms like Vestiaire Collective and The Real sell used luxury goods, same brands, 50% cheaper. LvMH hates this because it undermines exclusivity. If you can buy last season's Dior bag for $1,000 instead of $2,500, why wouldn't you? They've tried to shut these platforms down. Failed. Because once luxury enters the secondary market, LvMH loses control. Problem number 3. Counterfeits are getting good. We're not talking about cheap knockoffs anymore. Modern counterfeits are nearly indistinguishable from the real thing. If a fake Louis Vuitton bag looks identical, feels identical, and costs $200 instead of $2,000, what are you actually paying for? The logo? The story you tell yourself? That's what LvMH is really selling, and counterfeits can copy that too. Problem number 4. Succession drama. Bernard Arnault is 75. 5 children, all in the business, all want to be CEO. Imagine Thanksgiving at the Arnauds. Delphine runs Dior, Antoine handles Image, Alexandra runs Tiffany. They're all competing, all positioning for the throne. When Arnault dies, this empire might fracture. Family businesses rarely survive the second generation. What this means for you. So what does all this mean for you? If you buy luxury, you're not stupid. You're human. We all want to feel special, successful, like we've made it. And luxury brands are very good at selling that feeling. But here's the thing to remember, that $2,500 bag doesn't make you more valuable. It makes LvMH more valuable. Every time you buy Dior, Arnault's net worth goes up. Every time you save for Louis Vuitton, his empire grows. You're not buying quality, you're funding a monopoly. Does that mean you should stop? Maybe. Maybe not. But at least know what you're paying for. You're not buying leather. You're buying a story. And the person telling that story, he's the richest man in Europe. So next time you see that Louis Vuitton logo, ask yourself, am I buying this because I want it, or because someone very rich convinced me I need it? Conclusion. CTA Tesla teaser. Bernard Arnault, 75 brands, $230 billion. The man who decides what luxury means. You think you choose what's luxury? You don't. Arnault does. And next week, we talk about who controls your car. Elon Musk thought he'd dominate electric vehicles. Then China built a better Tesla for half the price. How BYD crushed Elon at his own game. That's next. Until then, question everything you're told is valuable.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments.